Good afternoon, everybody out there. Good to be back. Monday being a public holiday here in Australia, and with it being school holidays, I wasn't able to do the FTX perpetual scan then, so here I am doing one on this fine day. So this is a full FTX perpetual scan brought to you by FTX and TRADERCOBB. I hope you enjoy it. Of course, if you've got any questions as we go through this particular scan, just type them up. Just let us know. Pop them in. And welcome to all the new Discord members as well. We've got a free Discord group there at TRADERCOBB, and you can find access to that via many different means. But yeah, any questions, jump on the website and hit the chat box. We'll be able to help you out for sure. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and get yourself 10% off your trading fees with FTX. That's both spot and, of course, any margin trading that you may take on board as well. Trade well, responsibly, and manage your risk at all times, all of which I'm sure you are aware of. If not, free resources are available with us. All right, so what's been going on? Woo-wee. Good to be back. Yeah, good to be back. Let's have a look at what's been going on with Bitcoin, because the first thing I want to do is give you a bit of realization about what has been a relatively long period of not very good trending markets. Of course, what we have at the moment, we've got this higher low, we've got a higher high, and we need to see it push on. That's the bottom line. You know, sure, we've got a higher low and a higher high because it took this high out, but has it done much since then? It's done bugger all. And, excuse me, still getting over a cold. And we need that momentum. Now, if we consider the realities of what we've been trading, the last few months, really since the selling sort of stopped back on 18th of June over here, you'll note that, yeah, we've had a higher low and a higher high. Not a good trend. Very deep pullback, then a run up. That wasn't too bad. There was options there, then a very deep pullback, then a slightly higher high. Then we move higher just slightly. Then we sold off. Oh, here we go. We're in a downtrend. Then we consolidate and fall once again. Then we shoot back up. Not much room for good profitable conditions with cyclicity and trends. Of course, with us being trend followers, it's important that we get trend. Throughout this period, it wasn't too bad. You had to work the lower time frames. Throughout this period, it wasn't too bad. You had to work the lower time frames. This was okay over here, a higher low to a higher high, pulled back for another potential higher low, then we faded and went the other way. So we have not seen really good trending conditions consistently for quite a while, and it can start to creep into your mindset about being a little bit frustrated because you've done this work, you are a trader, you want to be trading. But what we're going to be doing today is looking for where the opportunities do lie. And with the sort of bigger picture macro view, I guess, the higher time frames, yes, the trend's there, but there's not really much cyclicity. What I'm going to be focused on today is dropping to the lower time frames to see if we can find some low time frame trends that we can maybe sink our teeth into for little cradle trades and that sort of thing. So with Bitcoin, you can see on the 4 hour, again, we had this higher low. We failed to make a higher high. Now we've got the potential for a lower high, and we're just sideways again. Hi, Stevie. G'day, Bobby. Winston, welcome back, mate. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into our perpetual list. And I'm going to set it up a little bit different to what I normally do. Normally I have the daily on the bottom and the 4 hour here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it. I'm going to have the 4 hour down here, and up on the top chart, I'm going to pop the 30-minute time frame in there, and we're going to be looking at a combination of trying to tie in 4 hour trend with lower time frame cyclicity, because that's really the option at the moment as Bitcoin just crosses down through $20,000. Don't forget, please do like, share, subscribe. Share this content with your buddies. There's the podcast, there's our Twitter account, there's all sorts of things that you can do, and I'd love you to share it with your communities. We've been doing the same stuff for years, and that might sound boring, but the fact of the matter is that it is TRADERCOBB, not do everything Cobb. I'm a trader. I've been doing this for 17 plus years. It's what I know. So it's valuable if you are interested in that sort of stuff. Okay, so let's move to 1inch. Let's look for some trends. Okie dokie. Ooh. It's back into the cradle zone. Potential short right there. However, the 4 hours not really, it's not in the downtrend. And if I jump to the one, first things first, we do, we've got a little lower high through here, little move. It's not the It's not the most cyclical of trends, I've got to say. It's not the most confirmed of trends. I am going to tell you right now that I am looking for exactly this, a pullback in, but I'm probably looking for it to be combined with a little bit more momentum. If the 4 hours downtrending, excellent. Don't need it though. I'll be looking to see how it's looking on the 1 hour as well to see if that if the trends are nice and firm. You know, possibly, Jason. Good to see you, mate. Okay, so yeah, the 1 hour is just not really ticking too many boxes there for me. On to AVE. Again, the 4 hour actually has a higher low and a higher high. Deep pullback here. Another one where we've got a half hour cradle right there. We'll check that 1 hour. Oh, excuse me. It doesn't actually look too bad. You know, we go lower high and obviously drive to a lower low. Bearish candle right there in the cradle zone. The 1 hour does have a lower high here and a bit of a slowdown here. It does sort of fit those criteria. I'll pop it and we're going to make a list that's going to be blue here. And by the way, just a heads up, if I'm trading these lower time frames without the 4 hour, it's more than likely that what I would be looking to do is to scale back my risk. So risking less, don't forget, that doesn't mean you're going to make less. I mean, it does obviously against the risk, but what I mean is that if you're trading a small time frame cradle like this, you know, you're looking at, you know, what would that be? The stop would be something like 20, you know, you're looking at a 25-cent stop loss, something around that, okay? That means that even with a small position, you've got a small tight stop loss. It's a relatively large size position. If it does happen to have a good move lower, you are going to pick up some very good profits. If it does move higher and you get stopped out, you're only losing a small amount because that's how you've managed your risk. So always keep that in mind. Cardano is just too messy for me, leaving that. There was a breakout back, well, quite some time ago. I'm a bit dirty on myself for not getting it. You know, even though it's not in profit, I would still like to be short this because it was a great trade over here. Right now, the trade would still be active, but for me, there's nothing to add to that. Onto Adventure Gold. Too thin, too spiky. I'm not interested in that. I'm looking for good structure. Alchemix, you can see here. So these little candles that look like this. For me, that's going to be me leaving that. It just shows that there's not as much liquidity. Oh, wow. Look at that. Holy. That's the 30. Sorry, that's the 30. They're both the 30. I thought that was the, yeah, okay. All right, let's keep going on this because I like to look at that to start off. We've got a lower high here. We don't have a downtrend on the 4 hour. Oh man, I'm not going to get the time to get this on, am I? Lower high, lower low, pull back in, bearish candle in the cradle. The 1 hour is going to have a downtrend in there as well. That looks pretty nice. Pop it in and see if I still got it at the end. But yeah, that's the sort of thing I'm looking for. Bit of a trend, bit of cyclicity. 1 hour's backed it up. There's our 2 time frames that we need to be convergent. So that is a nice, it's right there right now. So there you go. Alice, a little bit too thin. Alpha, let's go higher here. Excuse my little coughs and splutters. Dealing with a cold. Went camping a couple of days ago. Got rained out. Wonderful. 4 hour does actually have a downtrend. You know, you got the clear lower high here to low. It's the moving averages aren't in the correct order. However, the 2 hour is in the correct order. You can see the lower high, the lower low. So what I'm doing is working back towards the 1 hour here. That's a potential there for those that are going to look for cradles. And what I'll do is I'll make up a list and then I'll go through and see what's left at the end and clear anything up that I don't really like all that much. This 30-minute here, it should be 4 down there. Yeah, not enough cyclicity there for me. Ample 4th, not much going on with that at this stage. Ape, I can leave. R-Weave, again, we do have a lower high and lower low, but it's just sort of straight fallen. There's no real bouncing back into the cradles and there's no real cyclicity there. Ascendex, I can leave. Atlas, ooh. That looks like it might have been half decent on the 2. Not all that great. I thought it might have looked a little bit better, but as you can see, we went lower before we went higher, which would mean that you'd probably be cancelling your order. As of now, it needs to cycle through better, give me better convergence. No doubt about that in my eyes. Atom, I can be leaving for the time being. A little bit too thin here on Audius futures. AVAX, Yeah, there's a bearish candle. It's broken the lows. There's nothing there for me at the moment. Axie as well, a little bit flat. It needs to leg itself down and therefore create a lower high here for it to open that trend up for me to be trading. Balancer, it's confused. Band. Confused as well. Bat, it needs to do more again. We got the higher low, lower high. We're neither uptrending or downtrending as far as the 4 hour goes. The half hour's got big candles. There's not enough of that cyclicity. I know I say it a lot, but it's an important part. Ooh, it's an important part of what I do. So looking here at the 1 hour, lower high, lower low. I would like it up in here potentially. Let's check that 2. The 2 does have a lower high. So if that 1 can carry itself up into here a little bit further, it's one that I'm willing to have in in the list. We'll see how it unfolds throughout the scan. So Jason, you said once they restart the chain, obviously something's going on now. I've had an absolutely flat out morning trying to get kids organised on the last day of the New South Wales school holidays. So I haven't actually got my head. Did something happen here with Binance? Did it? Because it was at one stage, it was one of the better looking trends on the daily. Look, we were ticking along quite nicely. Have to get through this, you know, where I've drawn the resistance level in. Had to get through that 298 and bigger picture really, you know, through 300 to get that 4 hour trend really looking good. But at one stage, it was really starting to move, and I thought this could be really good. You know, we get above 300, we get pullbacks into this 298 or 300 area, and I was thinking maybe in the morning we'll get something. Of course, as you can see, it had a very swift 2 hour sell-off, 4.6%, which is a significant amount for Binance. It's become one of these less volatile, I guess. There's nothing there for me at this stage, though. BNT, same sort of thing. Boba, very sideways, quite thin at the moment. And we do tend to notice that during periods of, during bear markets, more or less exclusively, we see markets lose. Well, sorry, I shouldn't just say bear markets. When we're sort of sitting after a bear market, that period where the market sort of is doing what it's doing, not a great deal, we do tend to see often liquidity get taken out of some projects a little bit. So the liquidity that we might have been seeing during the bull run or when the market was falling really hard, that liquidity starts to dry up a bit, and yeah, things change. Celsius has come off significantly again, 17% there. Again, the problem that I've got is really it's just a straight off the edge of a cliff. I'm not interested in that. I'm looking for that nice momentum. I can leave Chrome here for the time being. CLV, very spotty, not interested. Compound, you can see there's not really much of a trend going on there. And that's not concerning, but it definitely doesn't invite my risk. Cream too thin right now. Crow, and this is what you'll notice when you're looking at the lower time frames, is you really got to focus on those markets that don't have those wild, gappy looking charts. It does increase your risk on those positions. Mainly for slippage. So when you know these things, it's pretty easy. You just avoid them. Dash, not much going on there. Dawn, too spiky for me. DeFi, if it had started to leg down from there, like cycle from here lower, that could have been an option for the next pullback. It's not done that. It's moved higher, so therefore I will leave. Dodo, too thin. Yeah, it's trying. It's really, there is a trend. It's not a very good trend. If it goes from here and sets a new low, that next pullback's workable. But again, it's not done that yet. So for me, it's easy to leave that behind. Dot, not the cleanest of trend. If it were to be taken, it would already have been filled on that candle. But I'm not too interested there. Dragon, a little bit funky with what's going on. There is a 1 hour trend to back that up. As you'll note, lower high, move down we go. Excuse me. But again, it's not really what I'm after there. I'm looking for a little bit more cyclicity. Eden's too thin for me. Elrond, what's had a good run up, then it's just sat sideways for such a long time. There's really no momentum. It's just a holding pattern. Oh, engine. Let's have a look at the 4 first. There's a clear lower high. Didn't do a lower low on the 4, but certainly not looking very bullish at the moment, is it? Bearish candle right there in the cradle zone, right in the sweet spot, back into the old lows through there. There is a downtrend in motion on that 30. Of course, the trade would already have been triggered if you were to have taken that. The 1 hour would back that up. I can't put it in because it would have already have triggered, but that's the sort of thing I'm sort of looking for there. ENS, excuse me, I was stalking this on the 4 hour yesterday. Sadly, it's not come back into the region that I wanted it to come back into. It could still, let's get rid of that. Could still do it. See these old highs through here? I was looking to see if we could pull back into there to give me an opportunity. You'll see that as well on the daily, that resistance that runs through. A pullback into there in a daily uptrend was what I was looking for on the 4 hour. Could potentially still be available on the 8. It's going to need some more time there. I'll put that in our blue list as well, as it is a higher time frame option that may present itself later on or on the weekend. Ooh. Lower high, lower low on EOS. Problem is, check this out. Let's see if it is a problem, actually. Very strong support that we're sitting on right now. It has to be said. There's no denying it. However, with that being said, have a look at what we've got here. We do have a bearish candle in that cradle zone. If that candle closes to be bearish like it is currently, that could be an option as well. A one-to-one for scaling out our risk, if that's the way you prefer to trade, is going to be somewhere down around here, which we can get no problems. We'll back that up with a 1 hour chart. There's a lower high here. Look, to be honest, it's not the greatest of trends, but we do see a clear lower high to lower low, so it does fit. I'll pop that in and see if we get that. Of course, I can't be trading while I'm doing this scan, but you can be raising orders if you see anything in here that you deem to be something attractive to you. Of course, you do you. I just come here and explain and look, or just basically show you how I do a scan, really. Filecoin, I think it's not bad in that 30. The 1 hour is not bad either. It's excuse me. It is a little bit of a thin market, but it's right there right now. Again, I'll pop it in and we'll just keep moving through, see what we end up with, because a number of these are going to be probably triggered or have canceled themselves out by the end, and it's going to be back to whatever we've got to work with at that point. 1 hour trend is a lower high here to a lower low. There is a 1 hour trend there on Phantom. The potential for this or the next candle to become bearish is there, so I'll throw that in. Maybe that we have a very large list to start off with and we clean it out a bit. FTT's roll over to a downtrend on the 4. That, if it was to be tradable, would have been triggered, so we got to go past that. Frax is no good. Gala, not enough cyclicity. Same with Gal. I think this was a breakout yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, look at that. And a cradle. Look at that's what you're. I mean, yes, you could get your one-to-one quite quickly on a Bitcoin breakout trade, but this is the cradle. Look at that, real tight stop loss, and then whack, big move. What time was that? 2 o'clock. I had it in my watch list, as you can see, with that little red bit there. Any of you guys get that? Especially those of you in my Discord community. Because the breakout was there, and so too was the cradle after. Either way, it's not there for me now, so I shall move on. Put the full back up there. There we go. GMT, GRT, I can leave those. That's too thin. Hedera, very sideways in its current activity. Helium, well, again, a 4 hour that's had a good run up. It had the opportunity to give us a cradle there. It failed to do so. It has continued to pull back. There's not enough, there for me. Yeah, Bobby, you got that beauty on IOTA though, didn't you? That was a ripper of a trade. I was really stoked when I saw you come in and show us that you got that. That's a... Let's go to the higher time frames here. Probably want to be working the higher time frames on this. As it stands right now, that 16-hour candle, it's a very clean pullback into that cradle zone. Of course, what it's done is it's broken down through a significant level of support that we had continued to bounce off of and hold very, very strong for a very, very long time, basically since the start of June. Now that we're down through that, this could be open to shorting I'll pop that into the list as well. And I just want to see, is there a flat level around for any breakouts? For those of you who know what the Bitcoin breakout strategy is, that you've done the course and learned it, that could be a level worth watching as well. So that's looking quite tradable. 16-hour cradle there, as well as a little breakout potentially starting to brew. Okay, I'll keep going. Internet computer, no. Oh, sorry, Bobby. Yeah, righto, that might have been. Yeah, gotcha. Oh, well, I gave you some praise for something you didn't do. Coming back into these lower timeframes, check this out. That's what we're after. That's the move we're after as well. Very close to 1-to-1. Again, these are the strategies that I teach. It's pretty straightforward stuff. Checklist systems, lower high, lower low, pulling back in, the 30-minute cradle. You've got to be quick. But, oh, you got it, Jeff. Was it you, Jeff? Bearish candle right there, starting to move. Probably got 1-to-1 on that if you were in it. That's the sort of thing that I'm looking for at the moment. Immutable X. Similar here, look, we got the downtrend, we got the 30-minute, we got the bearish candle right there. You minimize your risk if that's what you want to do, and that's an option. There's a number of them available. So here's the one we're talking about, right? It was, I think it was the 8, wasn't it, mate? Yeah, that one there. Yes, again, same strategy, pulling back into the cradle. There is the trade. Stand out, real nice. 1-to-1 achieved straight away. Stop move to here. Profit locked in. Happy doodah. Well done, mate. Stoked. You're doing well there, buddy. Being able to pick out the odd moves that occur is what we're having to do at the moment. It's just because we haven't got that cyclicity. We've got to work these lower time frames and the odd higher. There's resistance right there on kilo bit. Boom. So I'm not really too interested in getting long at this. It's also got some pretty radical chart structure. Like look at how it bangs around quite a bit. It just doesn't look quite right to me. A bit thin potentially. Excuse me. Kilo also in that department, just not enough liquidity there. Kusama's had a little move up. I'm going to leave Kilo open down. LDO 4-hour has a lower high and a lower low. Just check that in the daily as well. Back in, moving away. Convergence, so it's got all the right factors there for the daily to back that up. 4-hour downtrend. We go high to low though. It's not really got the sort of trend that I'm after when I'm looking at these lower time frames. Big dip there on Leo, no surprise. It's pretty illiquid. Linear tokens grinding. If we could just do it with a little bit more spring in it. Step. You know, we got higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But we're just not doing it in a nice fashion. I want to see it like this. We go up, pull back in, up, pull back. I want to see the trend extended a bit better and sort of stepping out better than what it currently is. I will have a look at the 1 hour. I don't think, no, there's not much chop there. It's got to move higher and get a little bit more momentum to that upside. As you can see, the 4 hour, it's just a slow grind. Mega mosquito, goodbye. 1 hour. Don't forget, guys, please do like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, all those things. It does help to capture the algorithm brain. I'm probably not too keen on link there. The trend's not all that great. It is there, but the 4 hour, I've seen better options available. Looks here, it's pulled back into the zone, but the problem is, again, we've got divergence. Look at how price made a clear higher high to its last high, but the MACD has failed to do the same. Again, another one where we go high to low on the 1 hour, taking away the confirmation time frame, which means I'll move past it. I'm not a huge fan of Mana at the moment either. Again, I'd like to see a little bit more momentum with it. Matic's the same. Media is very, very thin at this stage. Mid, not the structure I'm after. It's a bit of a shame with this one yesterday. That was, I know it was a late night anyway, But the problem that I had, the reason it wasn't in the watch list is because we went from low to high. But look, this is the sort of thing we're looking for: a clean pullback, bullish candle in the cradle zone. You know, you check off your checklist boxes. You would have had 1-to-1 pretty much straight away. You would have held through, and you'd be in profit with your stop about here. You might have moved your stop to there, but either way, you know, it did have a nice little pop there. Right now, there's nothing for it. All the options that we found so far, too, I will add, have been potential shorts. I haven't found anything to the upside just yet. Near is trending. Just to back it up on the 2. Oh, I wouldn't want it. It's just, you know, I'm really focused on just the lower time frames at the moment. And look, you've got to be honest, that cyclicity of that half hour, it's not great. I am going to focus on the trends that are producing the best, you know, movements back into the cradle zone, because that's the sort of trades I'm looking for. Of course, if you know what the Fibonacci booster is, if you've been through the course, you'll know what it is. They're an option in these lower time frames too. And just by the way, if you haven't joined our Discord group, go and do it. And by the way, if you've ever signed up and, you know, done the full strategy course, you do realize that you can go back and do it whenever you like, right? Like, it's not a sort of pay once and then come back and pay again. You just log back in. If you forget your login details, jump on the website and let us know. We'll help you out. So, you know, you can go back and revise things, and it makes a big difference. Harmony, a little bit too thin and spotty right there. Ontology, again, very boxed. A lot of the market currently looks like this. I'll show you what I mean. It's not an exact level, but a lot of the market is just sort of stuck in these ranges, you know. Yeah, good to see, Bobby. That's it. You had a good little run there. Well, I shouldn't say you've had a good little run, but yeah, having that good chat with Lou in the community. That's what he's there for. He's there to help you guys. He's a very good trader. He knows what he's doing. And anyone that is in the community, don't ever feel like if you need a hand with something, just reach out to Lou, @Lou. Very simple. And he'll help you out. Polis. This thing's just such a spike demon. Get these big moves out of nowhere, and I just don't like these big spiky charts. It's quite thinly traded as well, as you can see there. And you can tell by that because of the way the chart looks, the way these candles look. It's very easy to be able to spot that. So I just don't like the really thin markets at the moment. Even if I am going to reduce risk on the lower time frame, I want liquidity to be there. Ray, that was a nice little move into there. Would it be all right next if it did it? We got a lower high and a lower low on the 4, so that's a little added bonus. We got a lower high, another one here. Yeah, we're pretty happy with it, Bobby. All the lives that we're able to just jump in and do, you know, frequently, it's made a big difference to the amount of content that we can give to the community and how quickly we can engage in doing it. It's been bloody good. I'm going to put Ray in. We'll see how we go towards the back end of this scan. I think a number of these markets will have probably excluded themselves quite a bit there. Ron leaving. Rose. Yeah, it's downtrending on the 4. Very, very new stage downtrend. It's just how thin it is at the moment. It just doesn't strike me as something that's going to have the liquidity. Now, that's not a problem if you've got a small account. If you are trading a little bit more, you need to make sure there's enough there for you to get your fills. Reserve rights to that level still hanging around, but we're not going to be able to work with it at the moment. I can take that out of my other list as well. There's nothing there anymore. Sand, not interested there. Seacoin needs to trend a bit more. Seco, Shiba, Shitperp. A bit more rubbish down on the S's, isn't there? Oh, moving on now about Solana. Zinging around a bit. Excuse me. Again, I guess one of the concerns is this. If you look at the chart the way that I do, you'll see that there's a little bit of, old resistance acting as support, a bit of a support zone. And of course, there's a bit of a resistance zone up here too. So are we going to go from here and continue to move on, or are we going to short into this and break through it? These are questions that I do not have the answer for to start off with, but would I like to be shorting into this support? My answer, and this is the way that I think about things, my answer is no. I don't want to be shorting into support. That is a market that really has no volume. That's not too far off it as well. At this stage, it'll change. Step the same. Stormex I can leave. Storage is a bit of a bummer. With these spikes around the place, it's of no interest. Swipe, yeah, I'm more looking at that in the higher time frames for a breakout on the 8 or 12 hour. Still waiting on that. It's dipped further, so a bit more waiting to be done. Tron, no. Try too thin. There's not really too much cyclicity here. On the lowers, let's check the highs. Look, I'd love to see this step out. I mean, the bottom line is this. Have a look at this on a daily view. We've just pushed through a bit of a resistance region with a higher low, couple of higher lows. This would be very nice to see go have a decent move that allows us then to call this our next higher low, to call that a step out and to look for the trades on the way back through. That's what it's in my watch list for, and I'm waiting still. It's not stepped out yet, and I've got to leave it. Tether Gold leaving that. NEM's still very boxed in, as you can see. Another one where we're just completely wedged into the resistance and also somewhat to the support down here. It's not looking very pretty. Stellar, nothing going on there. Monero zinging and zanging, banging around all over the shop, but without too much consistency, it has to be said. XRP, another one here where, look, we had a bit of momentum, then we've just died. It's gone real quiet there. Yearn, no. Zcash. It's got a bit of a better... Oh, geez. Just this zingy, this boom down. But I want to see that. I want to see something more like over here, this bouncing ball. And even that's not fantastic. So, look, I'm going to leave Monero for the time... Zcash for the time being. Same with Zilliqa. Chili's, nothing there, and we're back at Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and have a look at what we put into our blue list and see what's available still. Well, AVE was the first one that went in. There's the cradle right there. If you were to take it, you would be in right now. You might have even got... I don't know, maybe you did, but either way, if you were going to have taken it, it is gone. It would have already been taken. When it comes to algo, this is the sort of thing, and this is what you've got to be, right? When you're trading these lower time frames, you've got to be quick. It's not a bad idea to have like a notebook written with your stop loss, because if you're going to take the trade, your stop loss will more than likely stay the same. And have brackets. If it's a 30-cent stop, how many contracts will I take for X amount risk? If it's a 20-cent, those sorts of things, so you can have a bracket idea and you can get it up quick. Because here's a prime example. These trades happen quite quickly. You've got to be organized. If you had have taken that short and you got filled, you would have hit your one-to-one within that 30-minute candle. All right, for the time it took us to do the scan, you would have had your one-to-one, you would now be risk-free, and everything else, as it moves, would be profit for you. It's now gone. Alpha, we were looking at this on the 1, was it? It's still available. There's a bearish candle right there. The lower high in here works. We'll just double-check that too. The 2-hour lower high would be coming in here to here, so that works as well. The 1 hour is available at about triggering right now. With Bitcoin Cash, it needs to pull back a little bit further for me on this 1 hour. I don't think it was the 30 I was after. No, it was definitely the 1, because we got this lower high, lower low. I'd like to see it come in a little bit deeper, to be fair. The 2 hours is going to back it up with this lower high, so that's all fine. Bitcoin Cash still available. Oh, that's right, yeah. The 4 hour. Or the 8, if it comes back into this cradle zone a little bit better. I just don't like the fact that it's sort of pushed higher here. If it has another candle that pushes above it, I'd probably look to move away from the 4 and to the 8. In actual fact, look, I think I prefer the 8, but does the 16 back it up? 16 does not, so it would have to be the 4. Oh, look, we'll wait and see. If it does come back in quite quickly or quite well, it's still workable. EOS, well, there's our bearish candle starting again here. 24 minutes until that closes. If it closes like that, that could be another opportunity there on the 30. The 1 hour does have a lower high here, so it does fit as far as the rules go. File, I can't really get past the fact that it is very thin. There's better options out there. Sure, it could move well, but it's the lack of liquidity that's my concern there. Phantom has a 1 hour trend, so I can still stalk the 30-minute. If that ended up closing bearish and small, that's a worthy opponent or a worthy option. Horby, we're looking up here onto the 12 and the 16, I think it was. Yeah, right there, right now. Or the other option for those that have done the course and know what we're looking for here is, oh, geez, look where it stopped. Let's actually take that in there. Yeah, it's really sort of setting up there, isn't it? It's in play. It's in motion. I'd love to see a little lower high here. Convergence already across the board. So for those of you who know the Bitcoin breakout, well, even if not, I mean, you've got a 16-hour cradle there as an option as well. You can, do what you got to do there. Looks like IMX, Immutable X, that 4-hour downtrend. Yeah, we were looking at that as a cradle as well on the 30-minute. Looks like it's probably very close to, or if not already hit 1-to-1. So there's 2 out of that list so far that would have. And Ray is also there as an option if it closes like that and you deem it necessary to take. But look, obviously working the lower time frames, as we've seen, we had Algo, or Ave, I think. Was it Ave? We had Ave. That I think now you'd have 1-to-1. Algo definitely would have 1-to-1. Alpha, still waiting on the 1 hour. Bitcoin Cash waiting on the 1 hour. ENS waiting on the 4 hour. EOS, potential for the next candle to close like that. Phantom, the same. Horby, the 12. Immutable X, another one that looks like it's hit 1-to-1 if you would have taken it. And Ray also setting up. So what this has been good for is not just pointing out, well, basically the strategies bloody well work because you just saw it from a live perspective, a live scan. But that's how you do it. You do your scans, you get your lists, and you find your trends first. Now, there might be more than one opportunity that comes from a low time frame trend. If we push down, the next pullback in, it might be your booster, it might be a cradle. But you've got to be on the money. You've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to prepare. I suggest having a notebook with you, using your FTX trade calculator to do your little bracket. So, okay, if I want to risk $100, let's say, this is if it's got a 20-cent stop loss or a 5-cent, whatever it may be. Get some brackets there for you so you can quickly have a look, calculate it quickly looking at your workbook and know that you're within that minimized risk bracket that you would like to be able to risk, all right? That's the way that you can make sure that you capture these short, sharp little half an hour or 15-minute or 1 hour moves when you're trading the cradle. As you can see, they work well. 3 of those trades have already hit 1-to-1. It's just a shame that I didn't raise any of the orders because I'm in here doing a scan. But that's how you do it. That's the list we've got. Have a great day. Apologies for not being here Monday. I just thought that most people would probably be out enjoying the public holiday for those of you that had one here in Australia. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Get the 10% off your trading fees with FTX with the link below. And if you haven't already, go and join our free Discord group and go and do the free Become a Trader course. It's all there for you guys to learn. Now's a great time to be learning. Now's a great time to be trading. Have a great weekend, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.